everybody. Today we're going to take a look now at the Feast of Goblyns, a model which was written by Blake Mobley and produced in 1990, or rather published in 1990. This is the first of the line of Ravenloft products which tied into the Realm of Terror box set. And this one is a bit of a mixed bag, purely simply because it was the first one. And I think that the writer, Blake Mobley, was sort of given them ideas and he ran away with them, and I'll explain a little bit later on. Anyhow, because it was the first produced, it's one of the bigger ones. 96 pages of model, so that's quite extensive, and you think that it would be a well-run adventure. It's not. It's a well-rolly adventure, as I'll explain. Now, to begin with, what you get with the model itself are two gatefold covers, which show, as you can see by me, the front cover of the vampire and the woman on this ugly creature. On the other reverse side, you have a list of spells that are affected in Ravenloft, and also training tables which are also affected by Ravenloft, where things are evil and so that nothing will quite to plan. There's also character sheets which you can use by photocopying and then using in the game for your playing characters. And there's a big map, and the big issue I got with this map is it's a big map. There's all this stuff that goes on there, but you have to fold the map in order to hide these details from the player characters, or the players rather. And such folding that caused a lot of wear and tear of this map. So it's a bit silly, so I recommend getting a PDF, printing out the sections of the map you need and using them instead, so you can keep the map in a pristine condition and hide the details from your players. Now on to the actual model itself. As I said, it's a 96 page model, a little bit of a convoluted plot, and this plot involves a thing called the Crown of Soldiers, as supposed to be, but actually it's something else, and it's actually called the Crown of Souls. And apparently in the model itself, some chap called Goblyns, a pretty evil fellow, gets trapped in the crown with this elf. And the details don't really matter, because at the end of the day the playing characters are not going to know any of this. So you can instantly dismiss the crown. In fact, you can actually play the model without the crown itself. You can use something else, but there's a plot device which is used and as a sort of hook to hang your coat on and run the model. Now it's a convoluted plot in some respect, so I'll actually read this out to you because there's details. So the first part is the playing characters enter Ravenloft near a place called Harmonia. They enter Harmonia. To accomplish this, you have to get them to find a small hunting trail, which simply is a loop leading on to Harmonia. Now this is where we get to another part in the model, which is railroading, which I'll get to later on. In Harmonia, with aid of jail in trouble, in the end, they can manage to get themselves locked up as well. And whilst they're there, they witness a girl called Akril being whipped by her father. She speaks to the PCs with the bars at the window and gets them to help her. So when they're released, she asks them to meet an old Kaltakan inn near the town of Skald. So they go to Skald. There's side quests here, and then when they get to Skald, then she sends them to on a quest to find the Crown of Soldiers, and then she goes to a place on the sea of the catacomb near Bluewitch Spur. They go to the catacombs, retrieve the Crown of Souls, return the crown to Akril, who rewards them. Then she asks them if they would like to take it to a place called Gundarak and to a chap called Darkcloud Hangfoy, who was actually a vampire and named Dr. Dominiani. So they give the crown to him, they go back to meet Akril. But however, Akril's father finds out about this and gets to listen to the PC, the playing character, and gets to convince them that the person they sent the crown to, or gave the crown to, is a vampire. So they go back to that place, defeat the vampire, and come back with the crown. So once they do that, then they confront a woman called Radica. It's like I said, a convoluted plot, some Radica pops up here and there. So there's an evil priestess, so when they go and find they've got to kill her, they find that she's now got a domain of her own, not far from Knarka, so they've got to go there, kill her. And in the meantime, in the Crown of Souls, this Darkland tries to get out to take over the playing characters. That's the plot. A little bit convoluted, a little bit silliness and so on and so forth. And this adventure really holds you through a lot of that. You have to go there, you have to go here, just go for this, go for that. I call it a go for adventure. And playing characters are just going through the emotions really in some of this parts of the model. Where you just stand back, what's the plot going on around them, and every now and again they get involved, but in the main they're not really sort of getting themselves involved, as it were. Now, the model itself has parts of it which range from the sublime to the absolutely ridiculous. For example, the good is the Goblyns Inn, which is filled with werewolves. Now, it's done in such a way that the playing characters are not aware of that. And the inn itself is in beautiful surrounds where it's waterfalls cascading around it. It's quite a nice sight to be seen during the daytime, and in the night time, as it is with a lot of Ravenloft, things are a little bit different. So they go into the inn, and while they're waiting for the nice lady to come along, who they agreed to help, the patrons of the inn start playing tricks with them, and the patrons are actually werewolves. So they start toying with their prey by changing the appearance slightly. Like 1 minute there's a hairy hand, and the playing card is looking, well, what's going on here? Their teeth suddenly appear and disappear within a smile. The hair starts going a little bit, and the eyes start changing a little bit, and there's a gradual change throughout the evening where the playing characters wondering, did I really see what I just seen, until eventually they reveal themselves as werewolves, and there's a nice big fight going on there. That's a nice way of doing things and bringing a sort of tension in the adventure, and the playing characters get a little bit confused about what's going on until the actual reveal. The ridiculous, yes, there's a bit in the model itself where they have to cross a bridge and tie two ropes which are attached to the ceiling, or skeletons who swing back and forth with javelins or spears or whatever they used in this, I can't remember quite exactly, and try and jab and push the playing characters off the bridge. Now, the way I remember this when I played it many years ago, the playing character got so far and I started jumping out, so the playing characters went back a step and just simply watched the skeleton go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until they come to a dead stop, which is a matter of taking them out then after that. So yeah, they're just simply watching these skeletons go back and forth. There's also a giant skeleton which they have to climb up into to get to what they need, and so it's like that. Then in the end of the adventure they go to Goblyns itself, where the new realm is being formed, and there they try and defeat Radica, the baddie. And the crown comes forward then, whoever's wearing the crown, and the person gets taken over by the person in the evil baddie inside the crown, and they have no choice in the matter, they just got to go along with it. So the playing characters and the player himself are just standing back watching this battle between the baddie, Goblyns, and Radica, this harridan thing. Like I said, there's a long backstory in here with the Crown of Souls, which after the adventure is done, the players are not going to know who to ask or try and find out. And because a lot of spells in Ravenloft won't let them anyway, so that backstory could be just chucked out the window. In fact, like I said, you don't really need the Crown of Souls to actually run the adventure. You can substitute it with something else. It will make a lot more logical sense than the one they've got in here. So like I said, this is a mixed bag adventure, and 96 pages, it runs on for too long. Okay, you get interesting places like Skald and Katarkas, and you go to Gundra, you go to different ones, and also Dr. Miniani himself is not the conventional vampire that you expect. Right here, let his imagination run away with him a little bit, because the vampire doesn't take blood, it takes the cranial fluid of the victim, turning into sort of zombie type people, which is the idea of him wanted to create a zombie type army subservient to his will, so he can take over the next realm in Ravenloft and become the Lord of 2 realms instead of 1. Like I said, it's a stupid bloody idea. I mean, the zombie thing is okay, yes, you can play that a little bit and do a lot of role playing with horror and shock at that aspect of it, but a vampire is a vampire. A vampire will take blood, not spinal fluid or cranial fluid like this one does. So that's a bit stupid, to be honest with you. So that's it really in a nutshell. It has its good parts, but it has a lot of bad parts as well, and it's railroady as anything. You're forced to go here or there. And there's a question and answer thing about what if the players do this, what if the players do that, which says basically get them back on track, push them straight to the direction you want them to go to. There's no real flexibility in the actions of the playing characters themselves. And of course, like I said, there's a go for adventure where you've got to go for this, you've got to go for that. You go there, go here. So like I said, it's not the best introduction to Ravenloft that I could ever give to the players. There are better out there. Night of the Living Dead, for example, is a great way of starting off Ravenloft and the campaign that you want to run there. This isn't it, and I wouldn't recommend it being played by anybody, unless of course you just want to throw it in as a sort of sidebar adventures, which have no intrinsic meaning to your campaign at all. It's just something to occupy a Friday night, and that's just about as much as I can say for this model, to be honest with you. So thank you for listening, and have a good day. Rock on.